Welcome to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome to the Jets Game Day, Eric Allen alongside Bart Scott. First off, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, brother.
Great to see you. So the Jets, 2024 is over. They have one final game to go in the 2024-25 season. That is against the Miami Dolphins. What do you think about the matchup?
I mean, and one thing that the NFL did right, I believe the fact that they decided to make the last games and the last few games divisional games because they mean something. And it should mean something to the Jets to be able to play the role of spoiler. If I can't go, then you can't go. So they have an opportunity to knock the Miami Dolphins out of the postseason, play the Grinch of the holiday season.
All right, so let's keep it 100, though, as the kids like to say. Is it really extra motivation for the Jets to prevent Miami from going to the postseason?
Absolutely, because you got to also remember that, you played earlier on, so you guys have already had some conflicts, so some things probably happened in the first game. An opportunity to say, hey, listen, I'm going to Cabo, but you're going to be right there with me.
Cabo doesn't sound too bad, to be honest with you. But let's go inside the film room right now. We are presented by Moody's, as always. Breece Hall did not play in the Jets' first meeting against the Miami Dolphins, but unfortunately for Miami, he's going to suit up on Sunday.
I love Downing in this play design. If you look at it, man, this play has a lot of sauce. But what we're going to get here, we're going to get some slow motion here that's going to force the Bills to have to reset and figure out what they're going to do from here. So they go from a rush front. Now they're going to check to an under front. So you see the linebacker coming here, and he's got to shift everybody up. So now you have the double team here. You have this guy has force. This guy's responsible for this gap. This player's responsible for this gap, and maybe this gap. This player responsible for this gap, and this player becomes force. Now you have angles to get up, and then now when you have the ability of these two guys to pull, athleticism, you change the math. But then this is the other beauty of it too. Now you isolate this guy with this motion here, you shift these guys over a little bit, and now you create what we call a nub side, meaning that this is the only receiver on this side of the ball. And then this allows, now right here, when you pull, check this math out. How would you like to have this? You have the down block here trying to work up to seal, and you have Breece Hall pressing the hole here to hold the linebacker and the backside linebacker here, knowing that he's going to bounce this ball and get to the alley. You're going to have a lot of guys to escort Breece Hall. Now right here, this is what you want. Tippmann, his athleticism, you have a block here, but he's going to get greedy. He's going to get two guys with one person, and that's what you call changing the math, which gives Breece Hall a seal here and a seal here, and all Breece has to do is get up the alley, and we know Breece can get there, and his acceleration is second to none. Great play.
The Jets have some exciting young playmakers. Garrett Wilson in his third year, 97 receptions. He also has a career-high 7 touchdowns. He got in the end zone last week against the Bills.
Garrett Wilson is one of these guys that you want to trust with the 50-50 ball. And this is the beautiful thing. We got Tyrod Taylor in the game, and this old Father Time. You can't trick him either, right? He's been able to see some things. So what you see now is you see the Bills want to have what they're trying to act like they have, 2 deep safeties. But Tyrod Taylor understands that there's something weird about all these guys being flat. But if you go right here initially, now you see the rotation here. This turns to man to man, man to man. Tyrod recognizes it. We have an all-out blitz coming here with these two players. Now, as this play progresses, this means that now Garrett Wilson is one-on-one against a young, inexperienced cornerback right here. And his job is to protect the inside, because if Garrett runs a slant, he has no help. So he's going to stay inside leverage, which allows Garrett to press against this player here, and then that spin turn out to be able to seal him inside and have that one arm free to be able to make a great play. Touchdown for Tyrod Taylor, but they had cover 2 and they disguised it, and it turned out to an all-out blitz, man-to-man, no help, and they exploited it, and Tyrod Taylor is one of the best in the business.
Bart, fantastic. Football 501. And I got some great news for you.
What?
The Jets MVP this year, you know what position he played?
What position?
Linebacker. And he's going under our Jet Spotlight coming up.
This film breakdown is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Welcome back to Jets Game Day presented by Audi.
Jamien, you go from a 5th-round pick in 21. You learn under guys like C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams. You transition from safety to linebacker. Now you're the 2024 Curtis Martin team MVP. When you hear that in totality, like what's your first emotion and the first thing that comes to your mind?
First thing I think about is how great God is. Like you just said, all that stuff, 5th round draft pick, used to play safety, now linebacker, to playing with guys that I used to use in Madden. Like, it's just amazing. I get the opportunity to make my mom proud, my family and friends proud back home. So, you know, it's just a blessing all around. And I'm so thankful and grateful for the opportunity.
What are you most proud of?
To show everybody that I could do it, you know, coming into the league, being undersized, making that transition, people questioning and doubting if you can do it, if you can't do it. So when the opportunity finally presented itself, going out there and showing everybody, my coaches knew I could do it and stuff, but I wanted to show them that I could do it. And again, you know, I'm so thankful and grateful and appreciative of them for just giving me that chance, you know.
Was there a moment for you where you can look back on to have things that you felt like clicked because you started to see a huge jump in this year's training camp specifically? I'm just wondering if it was a gradual lead up to that or if you can look back and find a moment that really changed your trajectory.
I wouldn't really say there was a specific moment, but I say definitely it gradually just started clicking for me again. Just everything that I went through, each step, from every man that's been in that linebacker room, like Quincy's game from when he first got here, you know, everybody questioned him and doubted if he could do it as well. So to see him go out there and prove everybody wrong, show everybody, I just took everything that he did and tried to implement it in my game. CJ, just like from using him on Madden, you know, I was always astounded by like everything he did. So he could never do wrong in my eyes. And like I always say, you know, he was just a cheat code for everything that I needed to do. So when I did get the opportunity this year, I just looked back and reverted to all the things that he's taught me, all the notes that I took from him and all the film that I've watched on him. And again, just appreciative for all that.
For people who don't watch Coach's film, like all 22, what's the biggest difference between your play on tape this season compared to prior seasons?
Confidence is the most thing. I say once a man finds his confidence, you know, he's hard to stop. And again, just like all that stuff that I studied, all I needed was the confidence, you know, trusting my preparation, trusting my technique, and just going out there and doing it. That confidence allowed me to, I don't care who's in front of me, just go play ball, go be you. And ultimately, like, that's what I do every time.
On a team that has a lot of talent, top to bottom, like how important is it to you and validating is it for you to be voted by your peers as the team MVP?
To me, you know, that's crazy because, I mean, again, you got Aaron Rodgers, you got Devontae Adams, CJ, Quincy, Garrett, Quinnen, you know, the list goes on and on. So to be voted by guys like that, you know, that means the world to me. It wasn't just my on-the-field presence, off the field as well, in the locker room, in the cafeteria, in the meeting rooms, just finding the good and the bad.
What's the next step for Jamien Sherwood as a football player?
Getting better, not getting comfortable with this year. You know, obviously, I'm just putting my foot in the water. So just finding the steps and finding the things that I can do better to ultimately make me a better player.
You're not just having a great season for your team, you're having a great season in the NFL where you're one of the top leading tacklers in the league.
I say that means a lot, you know, and all that comes down to is just being ready when your moment comes, you know, staying prepared so you don't have to get prepared. And again, just like those 3 years prior that I was sitting on the bench watching CJ and stuff, I studied so hard because like you never knew when your moment was come. I never thought that I wouldn't get the chance. I knew I prayed for the opportunity, so I knew it was gonna come at some point, and I wanted to be ready for it every time.
You know, obviously, you've told me before that whenever you have a question on defense, you go to CJ because he knows everything. When players on defense on the field have a question, they turn to you. Just how much pride do you take in that where you're now the guy that's answering all the questions?
I take tons of pride. That's why I study so hard, because I never want to give somebody the wrong information at the end of the day and they'd be like, oh, well, you told me this. So again, I do my due diligence in studying, preparing. Obviously, I do it for my family and friends, but I'm doing it for another man that's trying to feed his family. So again, I take pride in studying as hard as possible just because I want him to be just as successful as I want for myself.
So all the yelling in the garage definitely paid off, right?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Jamie, congratulations. Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
This exclusive interview was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Bart, congratulations are in order for Jamien Sherwood. 152 tackles this season. Miami knows what kind of force he can be. In that first matchup down in South Florida, he was all over the place, 18 tackles.
And he's just scratching the surface. I'm telling you, this is an accolade that's well deserved, but he can have so much more room for improvement. And when he cleans up some of the technical stuff, he won't have to rely on the jet fuel that he has. But this is the beauty of the play. Mike McDaniel is always great at getting angles and trying to create the advantage. You're going to have a late motion here with the seal. You have this guy, he's responsible for support. You're going to have a late motion and a seal here. The job of the center who's uncovered is to make sure that he can cut off Sherwood here and seal him here and creates an alley for the running back to run through. You want to have angles. But because he's so fast, even though he takes a bad step with his foot here, he makes a great play, and it's because of that speed and his ability to accelerate. So bam, right here, he's already here. When they're even, they're leaving. So he's even, but Sherwood is leaving. And so now you have the seal that happens here. And if you let this run, pause here, you got the seal here. So now the ball is designed to go through the alley here, but they have a problem. Sherwood's beat his block. You have another guy that's trying to help out, and he's going to support. But Sherwood's able to accelerate and get over the top and get downhill and meet the running back at the line of scrimmage. He's in tremendous position. You have outside leverage here. So now he's got to get his head across and get the player down, because if you look right here, he's behind. So if Sherwood's not here, you have that seal that you want to get to the alley, explosive play. So he covers up for so many players in so many instances because of his speed and his ability to accelerate and to change the angles of blockers.
Bart, to be a complete linebacker in this league, you not only have to play the run well, you got to be adept at getting in those passing lanes.
Well, especially if you want to be a three-down linebacker, and it's important for you to understand route combinations. I think what makes Sherwood so exceptional is the fact that he understands, as a former safety, how route combinations are, and he has tremendous ball skills because of that DB work that he's had in college. So if you look right here, he comes in, and he does a good job in understanding spacing. Right here, you're going to I have to stay in this window for a second to create body support for this player to be able to catch up. And then my job is to figure out where the next threat is coming. The threat is coming here. He has to redirect. And at the end of the play, you got to make sure that if you're going to go for the ball, you see that hand right here, you secure the tackle just in case you can't get your hand on that ball. But if you look, he has his hand on the ball, knocks the ball down. He's doing his responsibility in case he doesn't get his hand on the ball. He has his arm around the waist so that he can secure the tackle if he can't get the ball down, but he does to both. We call that hitting for the cycle.
Coming up, we're going to go inside the Jets locker room and hear what the Green and White are saying about the return matchup against the Dolphins.
As the Jets prepare for their last game of the 2024 season, players and coaches have been reflecting and focusing on the positives of a season that did not meet the team's expectations.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year for sure in a lot of ways. A lot of really special things the last year and a half. A lot of trying times for sure as well. But thankful to be healthy. Thankful to the guys for the way they, made me feel welcome when I came in last year. Thankful for the fans and the excitement that I felt both last year and at times this year. So a lot of things to be thankful for, even in the midst of trying season.
While Rodgers needs only one passing touchdown to hit 500 in the regular season in his career, wideout Garrett Wilson needs 3 receptions to become the second receiver in Jets franchise history with 100 or more catches in a season. Play caller and passing game coordinator Todd Downing has had a front row seat over the last 2 years, watching the Jets' third-year receiver blossom into more than just an 1,000-yard player.
I think, he's, first of all, handled the year well in terms of being moved around all over the place, trying to get him in different positions to create matchups and expand his route tree and try to get him into good looks against some of the zone coverages that we see to him. And so he's done a nice job growing in his understanding of just the, formation catalog, let alone any concepts. I think he understands where he fits in concepts now that he's with another receiver like Devontae, where he knows that not every ball is going to come his way, and there are times that he's going to have to, outside release to take 2 and protect Devontae or things of that nature. So he's really developing a great awareness of the schemes.
While the Jets are out of playoff contention, they have a chance to play spoiler in Week 18. The Dolphins need two things to make the playoffs for a third consecutive year. Number one, they need to win against the Jets. And number two, they need the Denver Broncos to lose against the Kansas City Chiefs, who also play at 425. Playing spoiler, however, is not the only source of motivation for players on the green and white.
You know, I think everybody gets, motivation from different places, right? If that helps you, get ready to play the game on Sunday, then so be it. Let it be what gets you going on Sunday. Like I kind of said earlier, I think as a professional athlete and as people that are paid a lot of money to play this game and whatnot, I think, you have all the motivation in the world to go out there and not take for granted the situation that we're in as professional athletes, getting paid what we get paid to go out there and play this game. I think you should go out there and play as hard as you can no matter what. So to go out there and beat a division opponent and keep them out of the playoffs, that'd be a cherry on top. But I think you go out there and play your ass off because that's what you're supposed to do.
Let's get into our great debate presented by HCL Tech. It is the new year. It is 2025. Give me a New Year's resolution for the New York Jets.
Well, the New Year's resolution for me is to start 2025 off the right way by sending a division opponent home and starting off and getting wins in the AFC East the right way. Start with the Miami Dolphins. That's a great New Year's resolution.
Nah, the Jets got to do that, but they have to find the key to finishing. In 2024, as far as the season is concerned, they lost 6 games when they had a lead in the fourth quarter. You got to look back at this season and say, the Jets were oh so close. So they have to find the key to finishing moving forward. That can't start soon enough. It'd be great if they took the Miami Dolphins down at MetLife Stadium here Sunday.
I can rock with that.
All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to have our final game day predictions.
This was presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen alongside Bart Scott. Let's get into our game day predictions presented by the New York Lottery. As always, Garrett Wilson, 12 receptions shy of Brandon Marshall's single season record here with the Jets. 109 receptions. Garrett has 97. How many receptions will he have against the Dolphins?
I'll give him 7, which puts him at 104. I think he gets about 7, and I think he gets a touchdown. I think it's a good day for Garrett Wilson.
The Broncos will beat the Chiefs, making this outcome meaningless in terms of the playoffs. What happens with the Jets and the Dolphins?
I don't think so. I think you talk about divisional opponent. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to try and live up to the standard. I think they're going to try and put the Denver Broncos out because some of the past history between the organizations.
So you think this is a win in your end game for the Dolphins?
Yeah, which is what you always love. You want them to see that prize right there and think they're going to reach and grab, and right after that you pull the football like Lucy does to Charlie Brown.
All right, Will McDonald, he's at 10 sacks. He's been there for a while, but I think he's been playing really well, drawing a number of holding penalties. He gave Deion Dawkins fits last week. Will McDonald will get a sack against the Dolphins.
I think he does, especially if it's Tyler Huntley that's going to play, because I think that's a guy that's athletic and he doesn't throw the ball on time all the time like Tua Tagovailoa. He's a guy that's going to rely on his athleticism and try and extend plays. When you're trying to extend plays, it's going to give McDonald a lot more opportunities to get some sacks.
Jets and Dolphins will combine for more than 42 points.
Yeah, I think so, because I think both teams are going to be going for broke, right? Because, you got the Dolphins that has to win at all costs, and you got the Jets that, have nothing to lose. I think it's going to be a great contest, and I think the Jets come out on top.
Final thoughts. Miami's going to be pulling out all the stops, while the Jets, it's one more stop before an eagerly anticipated offseason.
Yeah, you talk about this your last opportunity. Traditionally, it's about 35% of your team is going to be different every year. We know that the Jets are looking for a new coach, new general manager, and a lot of players are going to be graduating or moving on to free agency or going to get released. So this is your last time playing together as a unit. You want to go out with a bang and, kind of respect the game with your brothers.
I think you saved your best for last today.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I've been mailing it in all year, but finally I decided to do my homework.
You never mail it in. Listen, from everybody here at One Jets Drive, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next season.